our Comrade Bunting had decided that the People's National Party had no chance in hell of winning the People's National, of winning the general election. He had no intention of participating in an effort to win the election. Remember, here we're talking about the state of mind. Now, I'm not a psychologist, okay, but I think I understand enough of the human mind to be able to paint a picture, to give you an idea of what this man was thinking when he sent those emails to the GenSec, basically putting him on notice that there intends to be a challenge in September. If you go back to last year, when he himself mounted his challenge, their platform was that Peter Phillips was unelectable. They convinced the populace of this country and the People's National Party on the whole that Peter Phillips was unelectable. Okay? Let's go back to the state of mind. Having done that, he joined in December, runabout there, for the road tour around the country. Not in good faith. And I was on record as saying that I don't believe these people were serious. Nobody could be serious and then in May the following year decides to alert the GenSec that he and his Rise crew, which includes Comrade Golding, intended to mount a challenge to the party leader. Again, in other words, Comrade Golding is a lawyer, so he understands what I'm talking about when I say state of mind. In other words, everything that they did from the last challenge up until the general election was designed to ensure that the People's National Party lost the election. I'm still on the state of mind. I want to paint a picture for you. Imagine around this country, the GenSec working hard to select candidates to represent the People's National Party. Most of these candidates, when they are selected, they're asked, how much money do you have? Because in order to mount your candidacy, you will need upwards of $30 million. Now, we know that many of these candidates work hard for their money. Some of them who are supporting Comrade Bunting now, because unless I see the records to show that he put up the money to fund each and every one of these candidates, it didn't help them, okay? Because to help them would mean that he believed that they had a good chance to win their seats. He wanted many of them to lose, okay? Now, he's an investment banker. When you ask people to invest their hard-earned money in a constituency to be a candidate for the People's National Party, these people work hard for their money. I remember the pressures that Renita Robertson was under when I was assisting her. People wanted money left, right, and center every single day, okay? It wasn't easy. It brought frustration after frustration after frustration to the candidates around this country. But little did they know that the people of Rise United were working hard, conspiring, withholding funds from the People's National Party to ensure that the party lost. Well, the party did lose. The party did lose. The problem with the party losing is that in its loss, so did the conspirators. Primarily, Comrade Bunting. He lost his seat. And so, the game plan that he entered into in May when he penned these emails was suddenly in disarray because he didn't plan for Rhoda. Rhoda came along and booted him from central Manchester. So hurriedly, they had to find a replacement candidate. He drew for his friend. He drew for the friend who, on the night of the debate, gave the most lackluster performance I have ever seen from anybody standing in front, not even our high school kids who participate in debates on the national level did such a poor job. He did. We expected better from Comrade Bunting and Comrade Golding. You understand? Because they're supposed to be men of good standing. They're supposed to be men who are team players. That's how you manage a business. That's how you manage a home. And certainly, that's how you manage a political party. To the average person in the People's National Party, these emails and the intent of Rise United back in May doesn't really mean much to them, because people conspire every day. People do these things all the time. But when you think that for over 1 year, Rise United and its cohorts has been conspiring against the People's National Party, it amounts to treason. It amounts to treason. Now, if under common law, if our laws permitted these candidates to make an attempt to recoup their funds, they could sue their ass in court for attempting to subvert their efforts of winning a seat to represent the People's National Party. Because that's what it amounts to. You break bread with these people every day. You pretend that you're part of the team, and yet you conspired for them to lose. People, I want you to pause for a minute and think about this, okay? I want you to think about Usain Bolt being part of a training club, working to represent this country in the Olympics. And he's doing all his preparations. He's raising funds to help with his training. But one of his trainers is hell-bent on sabotaging Usain Bolt so that when he goes to the starting line, he doesn't run his normal race, and so he falters and somebody else wins. In football or basketball, players who they play below par, they conspire with other teammates to make sure that the team didn't win. And sometimes you find out that these players have been gambling that the team will win. Okay? It's called match fixing. So, in reality, what I'm trying to say to you is that the general election could well be said to have been fixed so that the People's National Party loses and these people from Rise United get the People's National Party. That's what we're seeing now. This is what the fight for the People's National Party is about. It goes back to the state of mind of those who conspired for the party to lose from as far back as last year. When we thought the challenges were over back in September last year, please remember here that to this day, Comred Bunting has not told these people of Rise United to stand down. I remember people telling me, give them time, they're healing. Give them time to heal. They're grieving. And I wondered to myself, what the hell people need time to grieve for a loss in an internal election for? Okay? But something about the stakes that these men have in the People's National Party, why they want the machinery so bad, they are prepared to destroy it to have it, and then take credit for rebuilding it. Remember here, people, that if you enter into a relationship with somebody and that person has no intention of a long-lasting relationship with you, but just want to enjoy you for a little period of time, it goes to the state of mind. But sooner or later, it becomes evident as to their intent. The state of mind is important here to understand the planning, the conspiracy, the undermining that went into ensuring that the People's National Party lost the last election, to pave the way for the folks of Rise United to take over the People's National Party. It is among the most selfish acts I have ever come across in my life. I cannot imagine anyone being so obsessed with power, these tools of power, so as to facilitate a year-long conspiracy to undermine, you know, I don't know why people are surprised. Because if many of you remember, when during the parliamentary year, it was almost as if we had two opposition leaders in parliament. Every time Peter Phillips got up to speak, sometimes he hasn't even sat down and Peter Bunting was on his feet to make some, he was playing opposition leader, the ego of the man. While he was doing it, his whole body language and attitude suggests that he was trying to undermine the party leader and promote himself so that come September, he had another chance. Because they always claim that they barely lost. They barely lost. Ironically, after the beating that he took and losing his seat, and then mounting the challenge for his candidate, his toy, he basically came back now to say that Lisa Hanna barely lost his her seat, barely won her seat. Okay, it cannot be that we facilitate and reward this kind of conspiracy with allowing these people to take the presidency of the People's National Party tomorrow. So before I go, I will just say to you, to the delegates, the 3,200 plus of you tomorrow, do the right thing. Do the right thing. Keep the People's National Party in the hands of people who has its best interest at heart. Those emails sent to the GenSec in May to put him on notice that a challenge was going to be mounted after the general election goes to the heart and the state of mind of men and women who conspired to derail the efforts of the People's National Party to take governance. That's why we're sitting in opposition, embarrassed by what happened in September, because of these people. How then can they ask you? How can they ask you to give them the reins of the People's National Party? To take it where?